All right, today we are diving into a really powerful idea, something that could be a total game changer. We're talking about how the African diaspora can go from just sending money home to actually building and co-owning the continent's future. It's all about creating what's called a diaspora capital flywheel.
I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. What if that incredible financial power, all that money flowing from the diaspora, wasn't just for helping family, which is super important, of course, but for co-owning the actual hospitals, the power plants, the businesses that are going to define Africa's next chapter? That is a huge shift.
And look, this isn't just some academic theory, right? When this idea got put out there online, the reaction was just immediate. That quote right there, "My DMs exploded," it says everything. There is this massive pent-up energy from the diaspora to get involved in a much, much bigger way. But, there's a catch. Wanting to invest and actually being able to invest safely, those are two completely different worlds. So, let's get into the frustrating reality that so many people in the diaspora face, where all these good intentions just slam into a brick wall of problems. This probably feels familiar to a lot of you. It's that exhaustion, that sinking feeling. You send money for a building project back home and it just vanishes. Or a partnership you set up with a local developer just completely falls apart. Then there's the constant weight of the black tax, that unspoken duty to support everyone. And underneath all of that is this deep, powerful desire to build real wealth, to create a legacy. But there's just no clear, trustworthy way to do it. And this is so important to understand. The problem is not a lack of money. It's not a lack of desire. The capital is there. The will is there. The only thing that's missing is the structure, a reliable, transparent system to connect that money to real projects and do it safely. Okay, so enough about the problem. Let's flip this around and talk about the opportunity. Because honestly, the numbers we're about to look at are just staggering. We are talking about a financial force that is basically an untapped superpower for the entire continent. Just take a look at this number, $100 billion. That's how much money the African diaspora sends home. Not in total, every single year. It's a massive, consistent river of capital that's already flowing. So, here's the big question. What if we could just nudge a tiny fraction of that flow? We're not talking about stopping support for families. No way. We're just talking about channeling a small slice, say 1, maybe 5%, into structured investments instead. Well, the impact of that tiny shift is anything but small. Suddenly, that 1 to 5% creates $1 to $5 billion in brand new investment capital every year. That is absolutely game-changing money. This quote just completely flips the script on how we think about this. When you add it all up, the diaspora isn't a group of people sending help. It's a financial institution in its own right, with more capital ready to go than many of the big development banks we always hear about. Okay, so we've got the desire. We've got the capital. The real missing piece is the how. How do you actually build that trustworthy machine that makes this whole thing work? Let's break down the actual architecture of this flywheel.
It really comes down to 3 key pillars to build that trust. First, you create things like bonds and funds, so people can choose their own level of risk. Second, you use these special legal structures called SPVs that basically put a protective wall around each individual project. And third, you back it all up with guarantees that meet international standards, which makes the whole thing safer and brings in the big institutional investors.
So that second piece, the SPV, is absolutely critical for trust. Think of it like a safety deposit box for your investment. It means you set up a totally separate, legally independent company for each project. You ring-fence it. So if some other project has problems or fails, your money is completely safe and sound, totally isolated. It's a non-negotiable layer of protection. And this right here, this is the entire transformation in a nutshell. We're moving from the old way, sending money home, totally unstructured, super high risk for you as an individual, to a brand new way, co-owning real assets through a system that is structured, de-risked, and can have a massive, scalable impact. It's a fundamental move from just consumption to real ownership.
Now, this all sounds great on paper, but you're probably thinking, does it actually work in the real world? And the answer is yes, absolutely. This model isn't just some nice idea, it's already been proven.
We've got clear case studies to look at. Nigeria's Diaspora bond, a huge success. It raised $300 million and was massively oversubscribed, all because it had strong governance and people trusted it. Kenya showed that you can use mobile banking to give everyone access. But then you look at Ethiopia and it's a cautionary tale. A lack of trust and transparency meant very few people participated. The lesson couldn't be clearer. If you build the structure right, the capital will come flooding in.
And I want to be super clear here. This isn't a what if anymore. This is happening right now. It's not just talk. People are building these consortiums. They're designing deals that blend diaspora money with big institutional capital. There's a whole pipeline of real, shovel-ready projects being put together. We're talking power plants, infrastructure partnerships, solar mini-grids, the whole shebang.
And this is the magic of the flywheel model, right? It's that everybody wins. African companies get the long-term capital they desperately need. Big institutional investors get access to bankable projects they can trust. Governments get some of the financial pressure taken off their backs. And, most importantly, diaspora investors finally get to co-own productive assets and build real generational wealth. Each part just makes the others stronger.
So when you step back and you put all these pieces together, you start to realize this is about so much more than just the new financial product. This is the start of an ownership revolution. It's about fundamentally rewriting the economic story for the continent.
And this right here is really the bottom line. The ultimate goal isn't just to get more money flowing into Africa. It's about creating a clear, reliable, and trustworthy path, a path that turns diaspora capital into real ownership, which in turn creates lasting, meaningful impact. Which kind of leaves us with one final, pretty big thought. If you can create a self-sustaining capital flywheel, one that's fueled by a continent's own diaspora, could this be the blueprint? Could this be the thing that finally unlocks a new era of genuine economic independence for Africa? It's something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.